Welcome to the Elevate podcast, brought to you by the Registered Master Builders. Each week we explore the ideas and practices that help us get the best from our businesses, our teams and ourselves. I'm your host, Ryan Castle. We talk to experts, advocates and business owners in the construction industry to share their knowledge, insights and experiences to help you build a better business and enjoy a better life. Now let the business building begin. Today on the Master Builders Elevate podcast, we are speaking with Miranda Knapton, Business Manager at Blue Summit Construction. Miranda shares her experience of entering the House of the Year competition in just their very first year as Master Builders members. Their story really is quite an inspirational one, and she provides great insights and learning around the process of being involved in the House of the Year entry, what was involved in getting the house prepped ready for judgment, and how they have managed to leverage their fantastic outcomes at the awards, subsequently to winning. Miranda, welcome along to the Elevate podcast.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Great to be here.
Yeah, and now what do we call you? Rising Stars, Champions of the First Year is what title sits well with you?
Look, I'll let you and the listeners decide on that one, I think, Ryan. Those self-bestowed titles probably aren't as enduring as I'd like them to be, maybe.
Wow. Hey, look, Miranda, you're the business manager at Blue Summit Construction.
Yes.
Some might describe a meteoric rise in the Master Builders ranks. And without getting too carried away, we're really excited to hear about your journey, what your experience has been with Master Builders, how House of the Year has influenced your outcomes. And of course, all of our members are always keen to pick up some tips and tricks and go, oh, that's a great idea. Maybe we could bring that in as well. So just as a bit of a scene set, in the House of the Year 2021 awards, Blue Summit was winners of both a Gold Award and a Regional Lifestyle Award. And I understand this was your first time entering.
Yes, absolutely. We'd only been a member for 8 months or 9 months or something like that, and just had the opportunity to enter a house that we thought would do pretty well because it was a bit unique. And we won some awards.
Great job. And was House of the Year, was that something you thought about as you were joining Master Builders? Was it like, oh, eye on the prize, it'd be great if we could go and win one of those?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very much of what would happen if we did this. So we were a member of another association previously, prior to that. We'd heard good things about Master Builders in terms of support for the business, support for the owners and, ongoing learning, but also then, the Master Build House of the Year Awards. It's a household name. It's everyone knows it. So sure. We thought, well, if the opportunity arose, we would like to have a crack at that and just see what it looked like, I suppose.
All right. Can you give us just a bit of background on Blue Summit? How long's been in business, your role, other key players in the organisation?
Yeah, absolutely. Blue Summit Construction, we started in 2008 and literally it was the guy and the dog and the apprentice, except without the dog. And that was my husband, Michael, or it still is my husband, Michael. I injected myself into the business at an early stage. I just wanted to ensure that the foundation of a good business was set up and it wasn't the guy that didn't pay GST or didn't understand, how to write a contract or all of that sort of stuff. So my role evolved as the business did. We grew quite big. I think we were at 14 or 15 guys on the ground at our biggest. And that most of that work was doing labour-only supply to some of the big housing companies. And it was about 2015 that we wanted to be the masters of our own universe, I suppose you could call it, Ryan, and really run our own jobs from beginning to end and put our own flavour and brand of customer service into this experience and create this amazing experience for our clients. And so in 2016, we stopped all labour-only contracts, and that's where we really went into this architecturally designed market. So not working with architects, more so architectural designers, and just making those designs really pop, really come alive with an amazing process. But also harking back to Michael's original experience from building when he first started. He built in London, and in London you don't build new. You deal with dirty old loft conversions and extensions. So at that same time in 2016, we did extensions and renovations as well, and we still do both of those, and just love that variety of work, I suppose.
And was there something about the distinction between architects and architectural designers that felt like it was a fit for you?
I think the architectural designers, and this is nothing against architects at all, I think we just had more exposure to architectural designers, and the ones that we do the most work with have a varied background and seem to understand the site work and that connection between client and designer and builder well. I'm not saying better than architects because I don't have that experience, but they understand it well. So we have quite a few architecture designers that we work with, and they all bring their own unique style and flavour and brand of amazing customer service. They really get a good client process, which is really important to us. If you get some great service buying, a nice dress or a jacket or a suit in a shop, why wouldn't you expect amazing service when you're building a house, probably your biggest asset that you're ever going to own? So we just really wanted to inject that in and have those really good professional partners with us. So that was a key part of leaving that labour-only supply and really crafting our own process there with those amazing designers that we work with.
Miranda, I'm interested, it's one of those terms that's easy to throw around. We have a great customer experience. We really look after the customer. We have amazing customer service. Talking it and delivering it often harder than the words.
Yeah.
What is it that you feel like Blue Summit actually does to deliver that good or that great customer experience?
It's interesting. One thing I do is interview is a strong word, but talk to our clients 6 weeks after we've handed over the house. And I ask about the whole process. What went well, what didn't go well. And the thing that keeps coming up is trust. The speed of trust for them to trust us is quite quicker than I anticipate anyway. Right. And it's made, that trust decision is made not with here's all the trust that we have for you. It's interaction after interaction. So I think being present, being there when they need you, with what they need at that time, seems to be a key part of customer service for us. Because you're right, Ryan, talk's cheap. We can say good customer service, you'll have a good experience, but actually we test and measure that and make sure that that's a continually evolving system and process that our clients are getting what they need and not what we think they need.
I love those words, system and process, because then it makes it repeatable on something you can do again and again.
Absolutely.
And improve it and make it better.
Absolutely, yeah.
You talked about building trust quickly. Are there any initiation ceremonies with your clients to get them to stand on a chair backwards and fall and prove that you'll catch them or anything?
That is a good one. I'm just going to take a note. No, I think just, again, meeting them where they're at. So some clients don't want us in their home to start with, so we'll meet at a venue, at a location where they're comfortable. We'll meet with whomever is comfortable to be there. So often it is a husband and wife or two partners. But one of them just might not be confident enough to have that conversation from the beginning. They'll want the other partner to do the vetting process first and not be included in it. And that's absolutely fine. It's whatever that client needs. And then the trust is built over time. It's doing what you say you'll do. It is saying, right, okay, well, I'll email you in 2 weeks and just follow up on that, or I'll send you that information, after we finish here. And it just means that the client then sees you doing what you say you would do. And when you do that often enough, people start to believe that you will continue to do that. And this is, they might only own a section and, may have bank approval or not. So this is really early in the process. And if we can prove our trust is, our word is as good as our trust early in that process, then that's going to be something that they'll be able to understand and see later on as well, when we're actually, hammering those nails in.
Like most elements of success, it's very rarely some kind of magic bullet or something that's you're doing that no one ever has thought of previously. It's about actioning the small things and doing them well. So great to hear you're on that path. Let's turn our attention to the House of the Year competition. What was it that made you enter?
So we had a really awesome account manager, I think that's what they're called, who helped us when we first joined. And he came around, we were working from home at that point, and just explained everything really, really well. So all of a sudden these House of the Year awards didn't feel unachievable. They didn't feel like this thing that other people do. And we had this house that we'd just completed, and we asked if we could enter that one. It's quite a unique build. And we thought, well, if we're ever going to test out, this House of the Year competition, this is possibly a good house to start with and see how it goes.
And unique how, Miranda?
So it is built with concrete block. It's very industrial in its look. It is broken into 2 specific pods. So we call them the North and South pod. There's 3 bedrooms, 3 en suites, very industrial look on the inside. And the section was only, I think, about 286 square metres.
Right.
So 7.5 metres across the front, but it has a plunge pool, a sauna and a spa and a barbecue area out the back. There's a whole lot going on in this house. There's floating timber stairs. There's more iron than you can shake a stick at, but it just works as a warm and welcoming home. So, that's not something that I've seen every day.
You don't often put industrial and warm and welcoming together. So
No.
To achieve that, it's pretty impressive. And for our listeners, we'll make sure we'll include a link to the entry for the house in the show notes so people can go and have a look at it.
Right.
Miranda, you mentioned your regional service manager from Master Builders helped you to understand that this process maybe wasn't as scary as you might think from the outside. Talk us through what was your process, the entry process, what kind of support did you get on the way through?
Like I say, he was awesome. Mark was great. And so he just helped us understand how it would look. And then when the entry form came out, or the email actually came out, there was just so much information there that made every step achievable and understandable, that you didn't feel confused by what you had to do to put the entry in. Actually, the hardest part was just collecting all this information, because it was 12 months after we'd finished that we were doing the entry. So, and the website, there was a couple of little glitches because of the size of files, but the people locally, so in the local branch, they were awesome. The ladies there were just phenomenal at just answering my silly questions to make sure I could get the things done. The administrators at the House of the Year Awards, they were awesome as well. That just send this to me and I'll make sure this gets done. So I didn't feel daunted by, I've got to do all of this stuff, all this thing. So, and then they just explained the next step quite clearly. You knew what was going to happen. And I think understanding that process ahead of time, because then we're able to convey that to Michael, because he was dealing with all of the things on site, being able to convey that to the clients and having them understand this brand new process. And then our suppliers and subbies that needed to come, or we wanted to come back to just do little bits and pieces, they understood the time constraints, what was required of them. So it just meant that there was no stress through the whole process leading up to judging. The only stress was my nervous excitement that I get.
Superb. And talking to the owners about being involved and entering their house, which is now their home, was that an easy conversation? Were they up for it straight away, or did they take a bit of convincing?
No, they actually were. They were really open to it. They knew that they had something very unique. They knew they had something very special, and understanding their input into it, we built a very good relationship with them through the build. So being able to then, just ensure that they were comfortable with what was next. It was a pretty easy conversation, actually. They were very quick to understand the benefits of it. So.
And Miranda, I'm curious whether there was any learnings for you in going through this process. Clients I often talk about when you're preparing reports, maybe for your board or for external advisors that you might be involved with. Actually, the value in creating those reports is not for the external people, but the process and what it makes you think about on the way through of preparing those reports. Was there anything through the process of doing your application that made you reflect on, hey, we're doing really great here, or that's something we could do better next time? Were there insights for you in that process?
I think probably more about our internal filing system. Really boring. Just our internal filing system, and going, actually, this could just do with a little condensing so we can access this a little easier. Yep. So, yeah, there's been a little bit of refinement there, but not too much.
And what about the feeling proud maybe of what you'd achieved? Because I think all too often, regardless of what we're doing, whether it's building a new house, we might be it can feel like a really long process from beginning to end, and sometimes we get to the end, we're like, great, that's done, but now I'm on to my next project, and maybe you don't take the time to stop and reflect about what you have achieved. Did this process help you to reflect on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Awards night was amazing for that.
Well, first of all, we need to go to wardrobe. Had people planned wardrobe in advance? Was Michael concerned about what he was wearing?
Not Michael. Again, my nervous excitement. but it's all right. I already had the dress, hair done, and friend did my makeup, and yeah, totally. Wardrobe was sorted. Leading up to the night, lots of people who we knew, who'd been to the awards in the past, they had just little snippets of advice for the night. You know, this is how it will be set up, and there'll be a photo board here, and so. Again, there was this comfort of walking into the space. So we took our team of builders and we took the designer and his wife. And so there was a full table of 10 of us and just a bit of excitement amongst us, but really lack of expectation, I suppose, not having been there before. So we didn't know what to expect or not expect when they announced the category awards. So we got a gold. We were very excited about the gold, and Michael went up and collected that award. And then they announced the category winner, and we didn't win that. And Michael turned to me and he said, awards have never, ever bothered me or interested me until we just didn't win that category award. And I just roared. I just laughed. I was like, okay, good. I think we're in for life here. So the rest of the night we were like, oh, well, let's just get on with it now. We'll have a good night. And, the dinner was fantastic and everything was really good. We really enjoyed the experience. And then they started talking about these things called lifestyle awards. I was like, oh, what's this? This is a bit, didn't know what's going on here. So they started talking about, I think they did maybe the bathroom one first, and then they introduced what the lifestyle award for the outdoors was. And I just it just pinged in my mind as I was saying it. But, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, we have a really good outdoor space. There's a good indoor-outdoor flow. And then they started describing what the winner was, because there's no, it's all the entries that go into it that are eligible for that. And I was thinking, I think they're describing our house. And so I turned to Michael, I gave him I think they're talking about our house, Michael. And he goes, what? No. This is not what we entered. And and then they called it out. And the lady who read it out is a local board member here, Coralie Pollard. And she actually started at the same place as Michael did when he was doing his apprenticeship. So Michael turned to me and he goes, oh, well, you called it. You guessed it. You can go and get it. So I went up to get the award. I was so excited and so nervous. And as I was walking up, there was this awesome photographer there. And he just got this cool photo of me that has just, I've got this look on my face of just this thrill and excitement of the surprise, I think, of this outdoor lifestyle award. So I went up and got the prize, and I actually used that photo that he took as my Facebook profile picture. And every time I look at it, every time I see it, it just reminds me of that experience, that awesome, fun, exciting surprise of winning that outdoor lifestyle award. So it's just such a cool experience.
Fantastic. And if you think more broadly about your Master Builders experience and the time you've been with them as a member, how would you describe that?
Yeah, they've been fantastic. Look, I think, they've got the e-learning portal, and during one of the lockdowns, we were able to put our guys onto some of that Elevate learning, which is awesome. Like I say, the support of the local account manager, Mark, has been fantastic. The ladies at the office have just been so good. The events that Master Build put on locally for the builders, for Michael to go along to, he just raves about them. So yeah, I think they're stuck with us for life now, to be honest.
And you reflected on there was some work involved in the process of entering. I'm going to ask you two variants of this question. If you had put that work in but not won an award, what do you think your reflection would be on the process, and would some of those things you learned on the way through still make it worth the effort? And then the second variant is the fact that you did win. How do you reflect on that?
Look, really good questions there, Ryan. I think the first one, it's a life skill for me, is enjoying the process, enjoying the work that you're doing, because the result is outside of your control. Did I enjoy that administrative process because I learned something about the business to reflect on and improve? Absolutely. Did I enjoy getting dressed up and going to a lovely awards night? Absolutely. Was it a bonus to win the award? 100% it was a bonus. What we did was make our client's home even better. It just makes me feel happy that they're happy with the life choices and decisions that they've made around this home that we were privileged enough to build.
Let's talk about the coming House of the Year awards the next year. Are you going back for more? Have you drunk the Kool-Aid and you're like, come on, more of that, please?
100%. Now, when we put our house in, the house in for last year, we have put a house in this year in the renovation category, extension renovation. So it was a very, very unfortunate looking house prior to the work that we did on it. We worked at, this is with a different designer, this one, and what has been created is very, very cool. The clients absolutely love it. It is such a huge facelift for this 1950s house that really was, if you had to put a bulldozer through it, that would have been an okay option as well.
Sure.
But the clients invested a lot of love and passion into this, and we're lucky enough to create a beautiful home for them. So that's what's we're entering this year, and just looking forward to being in a different category that still resonates with us. That's a significant portion of our work, about 50% extension renovation. So, we're very comfortable in that space and very keen to see how this lovely home stacks up, I suppose.
And when you think about Michael and the build team, do you see them with more satisfaction from the new builds or more satisfaction from the renovation extension?
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I talked to the boys about this on Friday at some drinks. We had one of our builders, one of our apprentices qualify. So we had some celebration drinks for him. And the boys were split, actually, 50-50. They don't mind, some of them didn't mind the renovation work. They just loved the cleanness of the new build. And some of them just definitely. And some of them just love the renovation. They love doing something where you've really got to think and be challenged. So I like that we have a range in the team there that have their passion. It's not that we pair them exactly with that, because I think maintaining that skill set only creates a better builder. So,
in Miranda, we know the power of marketing in a business. We're always trying to attract our next, perfect client or prospect in the door. How have you been able to leverage your winning House of the Year awards? How have you been able to leverage that in your marketing?
I do a lot of business networking, right? And those in our network and the wider network are probably sick to death of seeing the house. They're like, yes, it's lovely, it's beautiful, that we get it, because they're quite close to it in terms of being close in proximity to us. But I think what it has really done is create a conversation. You've been around building enough now, Ryan, that it's, you just don't walk out for lunch and buy yourself a new build. You don't buy yourself a renovation like you'd buy a sandwich. So I always talk about sparking interest, creating enough intrigue that people would want to come and talk to us and just start that conversation. That's what this has done, whether it has been the website, our own website, our own marketing, but also the Master Build marketing as well. The magazine that goes out, we were lucky enough to be chosen for the top 100 as well. So there was some enduring nature about the awards for us last year. But the magazine that went out, many people send me a photo from all kind of different areas, and definitely it's been a very good marketing tool, but really good to just create that interesting conversation, and having more conversations like this, Ryan, as well. People just want to know about the process. I know a lot of builders as well through the networking, and they just want to know how they could do it or how it could work for them. So it's been fantastic.
And has Michael been open to walking around with a sandwich board on over the weekends with the awards? Has he been open to that idea?
No, he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Sticking to the expert skill set of master craftsman builder.
Exactly. No, he lets me do the bell ringing and sandwich wearing, and he just kind of gets on with the craft of creation, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant. Sounds like you guys have got a great partnership going there in the business. And Miranda, if you were to think about Blue Summit, where are you guys headed? The business in a few years? Are you looking for significant growth? Are you looking to stay in the zone that you're in? What's the future for Blue Summit look like?
So there's a small evolution in that I am changing my role in Blue Summit. So I will no longer be the business manager, but I'll consult into Blue Summit. I've spent the last year and a half creating the team so they can do what I do, essentially. And I'll just have a little bit of an oversight role or come in for special projects, I suppose. So that's been awesome. And that's also created an upskilling of our builders as well to step into a space so Michael can move his role a little bit. And we're definitely looking for more of the same, more of those unique projects with good people. We always work with good people. We never have those people clash issues. So yeah, more of the same. I think we're not looking to be that, massive team, that 14, 15 people again. We've done that. But having that good, consistent couple of teams, 2-3 teams of builders that can get the work done on the ground. And we have a good supplier network as well. So our suppliers will go to the ends of the earth for us, and we just totally appreciate that. Because they understand that at the end of the day, it's for the client. So if we can create this amazing process for our clients and make things just easier, bring that barrier down, they'll work hard for us. So
brilliant. And it comes back to that communication and trust, doesn't it? Whether you're talking with a supplier being building supplies, whether it's your architectural designer or architect, whether it's your client subbies, if you build trust and good communication in all of those areas, people are generally pretty accommodating with whatever that's going on if you've got that. So it sounds like you've put a lot of focus on that and reaping the rewards.
Absolutely. I think, communication is key, just underpins everything.
Great. And Miranda, the name Blue Summit, is there a meaning behind that?
Michael and I travelled a lot. We met overseas in London, and we lived in Aspen in Colorado before we came back and did a lot of skiing. I actually learnt to snowboard over there, and so did Michael. We lived out in West Melton with Michael's sister when we first got back to Christchurch, and we just saw the hills, the mountains, and there was just this clear blue summit on a beautiful blue day, looking at those peaks of those mountains. So that's where Blue Summit Construction came from.
Love it. And in closing, are you prepared to call who's got bragging rights on snowboarding?
Snowboarding, me. Michael's gone back to skiing. So
you've owned him and he's capitulated and gone back to skiing.
You know it. Okay. You know it.
And with no right of reply on this podcast whatsoever.
Exactly. It's my favourite part.
Miranda, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. The insights you've given us around your approach at Blue Summit and also the process of being involved in the House of the Year certainly should be encouraging other people out there that have yet to enter to jump in and give it a whirl. Really appreciate you joining us. Any final words from you today?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ryan, first and foremost. And look, if any builders are out there thinking about either joining Master Builder or entering a house, don't be scared about that. Don't be worried about that. Reach out to your account manager or your local branch and just ask questions. Collect a bit of information, collect a bit of data. Don't be daunted by those amazing houses you see in the magazine, because yours could be one of them. So give it a crack.
And I think there are so many different categories now. It's not just about the ultimate architectural home. There's lots and lots of categories in there. So there should be a space for everyone to enter their work. So
absolutely.
Hey, thanks again, Miranda. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ryan.